Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. According to Maitreya, he doesn't need signs in order to appear. And these signs have been going on for decades now. And as Maitreya himself said, those who search for signs will find them. But my manifestation is much more simple. So Maitreya doesn't need these signs to come out openly in the world. He's doing it for us. He's doing it for one, the masters do it for several reasons, but one is to rekindle the hope and faith of the masses. Now, why would they do that? Because there's a lot of fear in the world. And when there's fear, when you have fear, you have a tendency not to act. You have a tendency to kind of retreat and not do anything. And they're trying to get us to, like Maitreya says, he's trying to he wants to galvanize humanity. He didn't say he wants to, I'm sorry, forgive me. The Buddha said that Maitreya is here to help inspire and galvanize humanity. Well, a galvanized humanity is not filled with fear. A galvanized humanity is filled with hope, filled with faith that they can actually change the world the way the world, is working today. So they're using these signs to help us. The only thing that Maitreya really needed in order to come out on TV was enough people to know, have heard about who he is. And I want to be very, very clear on this, that he did not need people to believe who he was. He only needed people to know about him. And if you say, oh, well, my Christ didn't need that. Well, yeah, Jesus did actually. That's why John the Baptist came out before and alerted the public then that Jesus was about to come out into the world. But it was a different time. It was a much simpler time, and the people who he was speaking to were not quite as educated. But also, there was no news media, there was no worldwide coverage of anything. It was just Jesus was coming for just a small group of people in Palestine. He was coming for the world. He was a teacher for the world, but there was no, televisions back then, right? There's no internet. Where today it's a much different time. We're connected in a way that we weren't connected 2,000 years ago, right? So, but Maitreya needed a certain number of people to kind of know about who he was, in order, because they don't infringe on anyone's free will. Jesus didn't do it, the Buddha didn't do it, Krishna didn't do it, Muhammad didn't do it. So each one of these teachers of the past, even Krishna, needed somebody to come out beforehand and alert the public that he was about to show up. Now, according to Benjamin Creme, there were supposed to be 5 people around the planet that were going to simultaneously kind of go out into the public and start talking about this stuff in the same kind of way that Benjamin Creme did it. But unfortunately, the other 4 decided not to do it for whatever their reason is. I know the one I remember is the woman in Tokyo actually believes that she's Maitreya. If she's still alive, I don't even know if she's still alive or not, but at the time that Maitreya actually approached her to help, she was thinking she was actually the return of Maitreya. The other ones, I know the one in New York didn't believe in it per se, but according to Ben, he was starting to kind of believe it toward, a few years ago. He was starting to think there was something to it, but decided not to take on that work at this time. So again, the masters don't force anybody to do anything, so that was their choice. They decided not to do it. Thankfully, Benjamin Creme was one that actually took it up. So, and he had his help. There were people around the world that were giving talks or passing out literature or, whatever they did, right, to help bring about Maitreya coming on TV. But also, even people who don't know anything about the reappearance of the Christ were doing the things that they needed to do in order to make that happen in the political field, in the economic field, in the religious field, even artistic field, medicine, all that kind of stuff. for decades and maybe even centuries and centuries and centuries and millennia, people have worked toward this event. It's not a single event. The reappearance of the Christ has been going on for millennia. And anyone who has contributed to humanity in some way, whether big or small, has helped to bring this about. Even looking at Abraham Lincoln, right? He helped keep America together, right? That was an important thing. Or what about Marconi, who invented the radio, or whoever invented the internet, or, that kind of stuff. So, wireless TV communications and so forth, this putting up the satellites, they have all helped to bring about the eventual return of the Christ. They weren't aware of it. They weren't doing it for that reason. They were doing it because they were inspired to invent something, probably. And that's what came about. Or it's going to help bring about the reappearance of the Christ. And the reappearance of the Christ couldn't have happened if it wasn't for satellites out in space, or the TV, or the internet, or radio, or whatever. It's all helping to bring this about. Now, Maitreya will tell you that his return is coming to help transform the hearts and minds of all of us. It's not to confirm any religious belief. Now, and I hate to use this term, but I'm going to say it anyway, where the Christians are getting it wrong, or where they're getting it incorrect, where they're incorrect on it, is they're misinterpreting their own scriptures. What's happening today is actually written in Revelations. Well, it's not all of Revelations is about today. It's some part of Revelations where, it's been over the last 2,000 years. Some of the predictions that John made about Revelations have already taken place, such as the Antichrist, for instance. The Antichrist was Hitler and his group of people, and the militarist in Japan and the fascists in Italy. They embodied the Antichrist. So I know a lot of people are still looking for the Antichrist to come out. Well, to be honest, they're wasting their time, because the Antichrist has already come and gone. And there will be no more Antichrist for another 3,000 years. So, I guess if you want to keep looking at it, for the next 3,000 years, be my guest. I got better things to do. But, some people are in desperate need of a hobby, I guess. I don't know. But these masters, and especially Maitreya, are coming out to help us transform the world. They're not doing anything themselves. But as Maitreya and these masters start to guide and galvanize humanity, the changes of the world will happen naturally, because we can actually make the changes today if we wanted to. As Maitreya says, the problems of the world are real but solvable. They're also man-made, so man should be able to solve them. It's not anything that any kind of divine source should come down and fix for us. We can do it. It's just that we need to do it. We need to start doing it rather quickly, right? Now, that's why these signs are out there, to help rejuvenate and rekindle the hope and faith of all of us, to help eliminate the fear so that we can make the changes. And as always, take action. Help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos. Have a great day.